Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. My name is Christina. This is a reading for Twin Flame Divine Feminines, or if you don't resonate with that label, this reading may just be to help you balance the feminine energies within yourself. So just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. The main focus of your reading is what is your current energy, how can you shift your focus, and where is an area of growth. So I've already pulled your cards. Let's get started. We're starting off here with the black egg and the tiger, which is such an interesting combination, DF, because I feel like for you, you're this black egg. I feel like you are absolutely pulling in some sort of energy, right? The black egg talks about the throat chakra of expressing a certain truth so strongly that it repels anything that's not like it, but at the same time, it's attracting things that are like it. And I feel like what you are attracting is this tiger spirit. The tiger is a very complex energy for me because it talks about it's a feminine energy. First of all, it's a very feminine energy. So I feel like there's like a feminine energy being drawn towards you. Or it could be that you're activating the feminine energy of your counterpart as well. There could be that dynamic. But this one is coming towards you because there's been some sort of wounding that's happened within this tiger spirit. Because the tiger for me represents someone almost like a war hero, right? They've been through a lot of turbulence or difficulty in some way. They have some sort of wound and have developed a very strong sort of personality or stance or something in response to that wound, right? So it could be that they've become really independent in some way, or really they've managed to turn their wounding into some sort of strength, which is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. However, I feel like this tiger spirit is also kind of activating some sort of similar wound within yourself, right? Like there could be a shared kind of wounding that's happened between you, or like a shared experience perhaps that has caused this connection to form, because you have this card, the connection card, which I've been talking about as being sort of like a quantum pulling, like interdimensional sort of connections being made. And I feel like they're somehow like coming into your physical environment or having an influence on you physically in your physical realm, because of this sort of energetic tie or connection between the two of you. And I feel like you are absolutely sort of like receptive to this connection, because it could be like a new friend or something like that, where you and this one, in terms of like the very feminine energies, are the same or connected or similar in some way. Okay. However, it is causing a little bit of turbulence in your reading today, so I'm gonna just go through what that is. But it's like, this is you here at the Chariot. This card has been coming out so much, and it's gonna come back. I'm not gonna over explain it here, but it's basically like, this is you standing in a very strong position, I want to say, with this black egg. And it's because of this is the black egg energy, right? It's like you're doing something so well or resonating a truth so strongly and purely that it's almost like clearing the space around you, right? It's clearing the space around you, and it's allowing for something. It could be them, it could be something else, it could be something very unexpected to come in, right? It's like they're being drawn to your energy because you've sort of cleared the space around you, is kind of how it's coming through. Okay, that's the underlying energy. So it is going to sort of come back as I do the reading, but we're starting here with the current energy. And the first card to come is this camel. I'm just laughing because as soon as this came out, like, this is exactly why I wanted to do this reading today. It's the feeling of, because the camel, it's a fire spirit, right? It's fire. So and because it's coming through like the desert, it talks about like perhaps not having a lot of resources, or just being in a period of like you've been in the desert for a really long time, having to carry your own water, having to sort of, it's all of this sort of 7 of inspiration. You are the one who's sort of clearing the way or leading the pack or somehow guiding others or helping others to sort of move through a difficult environment or difficult kind of situation. But what I love about this camel is that the expression is so peaceful, right? Peaceful and graceful and almost like happy to do it, right? That's sort of the energy that you're in today. And what came out after this was the panther, which is absolutely this tiger energy. It could be happening in a lot of different, like it could be happening in multiple sort of aspects of your life where it's like you're doing your absolute best to sort of maintain this calm or peace or understanding that the desert will end, that this period of difficulty or challenge or a period of lack even will pass. It will subside at some point. In the meantime, you're carrying all of your water with you, right? Like it's like you don't have a lack because you have the ability to sort of get everything that you need, right? When the environment is not providing that for you, is kind of how this energy is. And it's bringing in this one. They're coming in with the panther because I feel like for you, Dia, it's like you have some sort of water source that this one needs, right? And for some reason it's activating fear in them is kind of how it's feeling. Okay, so last night I had a dream that was like this, right? It was like I have a very rich sort of dream life, the ability to like astral travel, if you want to call it that. For some reason, I don't know, that label just like it doesn't feel right to me. But anyways, so I had a dream. It wasn't a nightmare because the thing about fear is that most often how fear sort of manifests in our lives is not like a really scary nightmare where like monsters descend and like there's gore and all that. That's very sort of unrealistic in terms of how fear manifests in our world. It's much more commonplace than that, right? Small things that are so believable. They're so believable. It feels so true on some level. But that's the whole point of the fear, the illusion, is that it's so convincible, like so convincing, that's so believable that you can absolutely sort of fall victim to that if you're not aware of it. But I feel like for you, Diab, it's like you're leading this one because I feel like you can recognize that they are in some sort of state of like needing to clear this energy because it's not them. They're reacting in sort of a way that would activate their fear in order to clear it. So for you, I feel like you're kind of like not paying attention to it. It's like that dream I had, I absolutely like, even though it kind of rattled me a little bit, I absolutely recognized there was hints for me to know that it was a fear dream, not a real dream, if you want to call it that. It wasn't the truth. And so turning your back to that, right? Or just like continuing on your path and hoping that this one's going to, first of all, like it could be just like a bad mood, or they're just like coming at you with a lot of energy, or like just like, it doesn't matter. You'll know what this energy is for you. And just sort of moving along, because you know that, first of all, you're serving as sort of like a guide in some way, even if it's not directly sort of helping this one. It's just like, because of the fact that you're moving forward still, this one has no other choice but to either follow you or remain in this desert, because you know the way out of this sort of tricky environment is kind of how it's coming through. And then you have here sorry, I'm having trouble picking up the cards today. The Philosopher's Stone, which I love so much. It's come out now 3 readings in a row, which is talking about the fact that you have, well, it comes through with like a beginner's mind, right? Like a beginner's mind attitude, or just like the knowledge that it's that pure vibration, whatever it is that you are resonating so strongly. It could just be like just resonating with the energy of love, right? It could be as simple as that. And that simplicity, or the beginner's mind, the clarity that you have, is absolutely drawing in this one. It's coming through with the partnership, because I feel like you and this energy or person are similar in some way. There is a similarity. There's something shared about you. And it could be like your best friend, right? Something like that. But they're, because of the sort of trickiness of the environment, or the situation that you're in, or just the energetics, perhaps there's something going on astrologically. Like, we are in a Mars retrograde as well, so there could be that kind of like conflict energy, which is not, and it's not a pure representation of who they are, right? It's a fear activation that is bringing them to you. But I feel like for you, I feel like there is sort of this, like, the oneness and the intention, because it feels like with this tiger energy, like something that they're going through, like their wounding or whatever it is, something that is a fear trigger for them, is absolutely something that you have sort of cleared and worked through already. And so that's why you're sort of able to pinpoint, because that's what this intention card talks to me, pinpointing very sort of tangled or similar or overlapping energies, and sort of like being able to sort it out, right? To figure out where the sort of hurt is coming from, or something like that. That's what this combination of cards is talking about. I'm pretty sure this combination, no, it didn't. I didn't end up posting that reading. So anyways, never mind. Going through the tarot, we have the Ace of Emotions here for you today, Dia, which is bringing in, first of all, that unconditional love energy. I feel like that's the energy that you are sort of radiating out. But it always talks, like this one always talks to me about coming up for air, or even just like really needing a break, or some sort of relief is necessary in this situation for you, because it feels kind of like you've been holding your head above water for a really long time, is kind of how it's feeling. But you have absolutely done that. Like you are coming up for air is kind of how this is feeling. And I feel like it has drawn the attention of somebody in your environment some way, because I feel like you're this chariot. You're somehow presenting some sort of very strong image or stance that is allowing this one to gain some sort of new perspective, right? And I feel like in order to do that for them, in order for them to be able to gain this new perspective, it does sort of require them to go through this fear trigger, right? It's like the only way to release fear is actually to step into it and acknowledge that it's not real, or that there's some sort of falsehood within this energy, that it's not them, that they can just release it, right? I feel like there's that sort of the position that you are holding for this one. And it's allowing them to quickly move forward, right? It's like they're coming through with the Ace of, sorry, I'm getting so confused with the labels today. The Knight of Inspiration, where it's allowing them to move forward, in a very quick sort of momentum. But because of this card, the fireworks, right? I have a dog, so I used to love fireworks, but once I got a dog, I realized how annoying fireworks can be, because it just activates the fear energy in my dog, right? He hates fireworks. He always barks, he whines, he cries, even though sometimes, like, we've gotten to the point, especially during the summer, where it happens so much that we've sort of I guess trained him or gotten to the point where he doesn't, like, he'll react first, like the very first sort of fireworks that he hears, he will bark, but as the night goes on, he calms down, right? That's sort of the energy that this is coming through with, where it is activating in some way, but the more you sort of get accustomed to that fear trigger, it does sort of calm and soothe. But if it's like, because there's not a lot of fireworks in the winter. So when the summer comes back again, when all of that sort of energy is stirred up again, he will react again, undoubtedly. But the more accustomed that you get to it, it does calm down, is basically what this energy is going, like, talking about. And then you have the moon, which is, because, okay, if you are trying to work with feminine energies, working with the moon is absolutely essential, in my opinion. Following the cycles of the moon is an incredible sort of resource that you have in order to release things that are needing to be released. Because it's the full moon energy, there is absolutely something in this one's environment or in their energy perhaps that is needing to be released. And I feel like you are helping them to do that, to release something that they need to let go with the sort of full moon energy. So this could be something that's leading up to the full moon, because new moons show us, because there's this interesting thing, like, because I feel like there's a reluctance to sort of look at the moon, or it's seen as sort of a negative energy because there's a lot of reflection that happens, right? The moon does not create its own light. It simply reflects a fraction of the sun's energy to us in a period of darkness. And so the new moons are really essential for sort of like, because there's no reflection, there's no light at all, it shows us exactly what it is that we want very clearly, because it's something that we don't have, right? When it's really dark, all you want is light, and that shows us what it is that we can work towards manifesting. The full moon shows us a tiny sliver of light, right? Enough for us to see, but it is a reflection. It's not the true source of light. And so there is sort of illusion or things that are associated with the full moon, but it's really important to be able to see what those illusions are and release them, right? And that's how sort of the cycling happens, that every month there's going to be something that you can learn and fine-tune and then release. Okay, anyways, I feel like that's what they're doing. And this temperance energy, because this one is, it's coming in with a lot of messages. I'm going to try and like confine it to like a single story, but I used to have super short hair, right? Before I started my spiritual journey, when I was a kid, I had a very specific wounding that happened to me that caused my masculine energy to be over expressed. So I was in a very self-protective kind of mode. I was doing everything I could, using sort of the masculine aspects of myself to protect the wounding, to make sure that it wouldn't get wounded again. And I was doing a lot of like forward movement in order to avoid that sort of pain. So the point of that story was that I was at the point where I was so miserable because I was avoiding looking at some very traumatic event that happened to me in order to protect myself from feeling that energy. Because it's painful, right? It's not comfortable to look at your wounds and actually like remove whatever the source of pain is and heal it. So I got to the point where I was so miserable. I was doing my master's. I was working towards a plan or idea that was very much not in alignment with who I am, in order to sort of avoid healing the feminine aspects of my energy. And so it got to the point where I left the master's because I was miserable. I was the most depressed that I've ever been in my life. I chopped off all of my hair and I did something very drastic and spent a year in Italy. It was something completely different than what I'd been used to, but was absolutely necessary for me to begin my healing journey. And in doing that, I feel like this temperance energy today is representing sort of, I feel like this person has gotten to the point where some aspect of their life is no longer working for them. It's causing some sort of stress or perhaps depression, I don't know, because it's coming with the moon, right? Any sort of like heavy energy, emotions, perhaps heavy emotions that they're dealing with, has gotten to the point where they can no longer handle that situation, right? They can't be in that situation anymore because it's causing them pain, because they've perhaps not acknowledged some sort of wounding that they've experienced that has caused them to overexpress in their masculine energy. I hope that makes sense. And so this is kind of at the point where they're beginning to sort of remove all potential kind of behaviors or activities that sort of encourage the further protection of whatever this wound is, if that makes sense. Like for me, my overexpression of masculine energy was through my work, right? I worked really hard at accomplishing goals in sort of to establish my financial future, right? That was the way in which I overexpressed in my masculine energy. So like I was working towards a PhD. I wanted to be a professor. I wanted that sort of like power stance, all of that. But that was very much not in alignment with who I am now that I am at this place where I can see that, because I wasn't seeing it when I was here. And I feel like that's part of what this person in your life who's coming to you right now is wanting from you in some way. Anyways, so it's a lot. I'm going to go through the next part, which is how can you shift your focus? Because you have here the Cobra. And I feel like this is, because again, it's another fire element, right? And the dragon. And so, oh, there's so much here. I feel like this is them, the Cobra. I feel like, because this Cobra comes in with this message of like, the teacher appears when you are ready to learn. And I feel like that's sort of the energy that they're coming to you with, because you're coming in with the dragon as like, you can see this aspect within them, even though they're sort of coming to you with this like flared up energy where it's like they're activating some sort of like fear response, but you can see that that flare up is absolutely necessary for you to identify what the wound is, right? It's like you because they've been in an energy of protection, right? It's like they've covered themselves up in some way, but now they're coming to you with almost like a vulnerability, but the vulnerability is presenting itself in a flare up, right? It's I'm trying to explain this, because in this dream that I had last night, that something that told me it was a fear dream was that the dragon showed up, right? There was a part in that dream where it was just the word dragon, right? A word dragon written on a specific symbol that absolutely told me was an indication that this is a fear dream. It's not real. That it's kind of like in Inception, right? When he spins the top to see whether or not that energy, or like whether or not he's in the dream, right? Because it can be sort of confusing when you're in the fear element of identifying if that's fear or if that's truth. And I feel like that's what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to pause here because I feel like the reading's getting too long and I want to sort of go into the extended. So I'm going to do that now. You can watch it immediately after this. I do have other videos if you're interested in watching those. Thanks so much for sharing your energy with me, and I will see you in the next one.